Welcome to Cupid's Logic, where love meets predictive intelligence. We decode attraction, conflict, attachment, and compatibility, so you can know if it will last before you commit.
Welcome to Cupid's Logic. I am your host, Craig Pruitt, and today we are diving into the Emotional Workload Index, who's carrying the hidden labor in your relationship, and whether that imbalance will break you. Are you ready for the truth?
Hook. Picture this. You get to Friday and you are exhausted. Not just physically, but the small daily things feel heavy. Remembering appointments, smoothing over a tense call with a relative, re-asking for the same favor, keeping the calendar of the family low. That invisible toll, that stream of unpaid, unrecognized relational work is what I call the emotional workload.
Promise and framing. In the next 10 minutes, I'll teach you a simple emotional workload index you can score in under 10 minutes. It translates invisible labor into a number and a risk band that helps you decide whether this is a fixable pattern or a structural problem. You'll get a quick audit, see how imbalance ratios and repair frequency feed a PRISM-style risk signal, and walk away with 3 neutral, low-drama interventions you can try this week. Let's get serious for a moment. Section 1. Define the index. The Emotional Workload Index has 6 components. Each one measures a different kind of invisible labor. Score each from 0 to 5, where 0 is never and 5 is almost always. Add them for a total out of 30. The components are planning, who makes and executes plans for dates, holidays, or practical logistics; remembering, who keeps track of appointments, birthdays, and medication; emotional cleanup, who soothes, apologizes, and repairs after conflict; relational administration, who handles shared email, bills, school forms, and logistics; boundary management, who enforces limits with family, friends, and work; and anticipatory labor, who predicts needs and prepares in advance. I'll repeat: planning, remembering, emotional cleanup, relational admin, boundary management, anticipatory labor, each 0 to 5.
Practical example. If you find yourself always making dinner plans, confirming doctor's appointments, apologizing first after fights, and reminding your partner about deadlines, you're likely scoring high on several items. That's the pattern the index detects.
Section 2. Predictive mechanics. Now the PRISM lens. The index itself is useful, but the predictive power comes from ratios and velocities. First, imbalance ratio. Take your score and your partner's score. If one partner's total is more than 1.5 times the other's, that's a persistent imbalance signal. Second, repair frequency. How often does the overloaded partner ask for help and receive it? If requests are ignored or answered inconsistently, resentment builds. Third, resentment velocity, the rate at which small grievances compound into chronic frustration. Rapid velocity with high imbalance predicts slow drift and long-term disengagement.
Quick self-audit. Do this now. Take a piece of paper or open a note. For each of the 6 components, score yourself 0 to 5. Then ask your partner to score themselves, or if you can't ask yet, estimate their score. Add both totals. Thresholds. 0 to 9 is low structural risk. The load is shared or light. 10 to 19 is medium risk. There are patterns to fix and experiments to run. 20 to 30 is high structural risk. This is a potentially unsustainable pattern of burnout if not addressed. If your score is higher than your partner's by a factor of 1.5 or more, treat it as a red flag for long-term commitment decisions.
Now, what happens if you ignore this? Outcomes matter. Left unchecked, a heavy emotional workload produces 3 predictable outcomes. Slow drift, where intimacy erodes and partners live parallel lives. Burnout, where the overloaded partner becomes chronically resentful or withdraws. And covert contempt, where small slights accumulate and communication collapses. Those outcomes are stealthy. They don't always look dramatic, but they quietly shorten relationship durability. By contrast, when the load is measured and addressed, the outcomes are encouraging. Restored safety, clearer expectations, fewer surprise resentments, and a much higher likelihood that both partners feel seen and willing to stay. Measurement buys you clarity and reduces moralizing. You move from blame to data. Section 3. Interventions you can try this week. Keep the language neutral and behavioral. Avoid moral labels. Script 1. Can you help me with something I'm tracking? I'm doing a quick audit of our day-to-day tasks to see if we're balanced. Can you score the 6 items with me? This frames it as data, not blame. Script 2. A 2-week experiment. Let's try a 2-week split where each of us owns specific items. We'll check in on Sunday for 5 minutes to adjust. Script 3. Micro requests to test responsiveness. I need you to cover the laundry and confirm the doctor appointment this week, and I'll handle groceries. These are small, measurable asks that reveal partner follow-through.
Negotiation template. Commit to tasks, set a measurement, did it get done, and pick a repair if it wasn't. Example. Task equals managing birthday calendar. Measurement, calendar invite sent 7 days before. Repair, the partner who missed it does 1 extra planning task for the next month. Keep repairs proportional and time limited. These micro-contracts create predictable consequences without weaponizing the audit. If your partner resists measurement or refuses small experiments repeatedly, that tells you something important about future alignment.
Short repair gestures you can use immediately. A written thank you that names the task. A single night where the overloaded partner gets uninterrupted downtime. And a quick I see you moment that acknowledges the invisible work. These gestures reset safety and help you test whether goodwill is present or exhausted.
Recap and decision guide. If your total lands in the low band, keep practicing shared habits and use the index as occasional calibration. If you're in the medium band, run the 2-week experiment and use micro-contracts. If you're in the high band, prioritize whether the imbalance is cultural, temporary, or structural. If it's structural and your partner won't engage in measurement or small experiments, treat that as a significant risk to moving in, saying yes, or making a long-term commitment.
One more note on risk and fairness. This index is neutral data, not a moral verdict. Use we language when you share results. Consider caregiving roles, financial pressures, and cultural expectations. If the imbalance persists despite your experiments, consider professional support. Cupid's logic is about clarity and smart decisions, not blame. For the free Emotional Workload Checklist, step-by-step audit worksheet, and PRISM micro-audit tools, visit cupidslogic.com. Download the checklist, do the 10-minute score, and try one of the scripts this week. If you want more structure, the site includes templates you can copy into a shared note or calendar. Thanks for listening to Cupid's Logic. Remember, you're not bad at relationships. You've been flying blind. I can relate, and I would love to hear your thoughts on how the Emotional Workload Index works for you. Are you ready for the truth? See you next time.
This has been Cupid's Logic. Stop flying blind in love. Visit cupidslogic.com and let the PRISM engine reveal what your relationship data already knows.